Somebody said I once shook his hand in a receiving line, but I have no memory of that. I never met him. My husband met him only because he provided a plane to go visit charitable projects. We have offered, and in fact, we put it in writing under oath, to tell them everything we knew, right, even though we think we're a diversion away from Trump. The way she insulted members of Congress for asking perfectly legitimate questions, tried to divert attention from Trump, would not look at the survivors. They have something to hide. I don't know what it is. We have nothing to hide. We have said, we'll testify in public.
Hillary Clinton just gave the Epstein files saga another explosive turn. And it comes just before she and her husband, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, are to appear for closed-door depositions related to the controversial case. But according to Hillary Clinton, if they're being called to testify, they shouldn't be the only ones. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference in Berlin, Clinton told the BBC that she believes everyone should testify who was asked to testify. The remark came after she was questioned about whether disgraced British royal Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor should appear in court. Her message was direct. Accountability should apply across the board, and she insists fairness hasn't been the standard so far. Both Clintons were named in documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein, whose 2019 death in federal custody did not end scrutiny over his network of powerful associates. While neither Clinton has been accused of criminal wrongdoing in connection to Epstein, their names appearing in flight logs and documents has fueled political controversy for years.
Somebody said I once shook his hand in a receiving line, but I have no memory of that. I never met him. My husband met him only because he provided a plane to go visit charitable projects that Bill was running on HIV/AIDS and other things that were really important. That offer of a plane ended years before he was ever convicted of something. We have very little knowledge.
Now, House Oversight Committee member Robert Garcia says lawmakers have absolutely sent letters attempting to establish communication with Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. So far, those efforts have reportedly gone unanswered. Hillary Clinton, however, says she and her husband have cooperated. She emphasizes that they have nothing to hide and alleges that it's a deliberate attempt to protect U.S. President Donald Trump.
We have offered, and in fact, we put it in writing under oath, to tell them everything we knew, right, even though we think we're a diversion away from Trump. And then they said, no, you can't do what everybody else has done, which is to testify in writing. You have to show up. Okay, fine, then let's make it public. They don't want to do that. I don't know what exactly is the real story, but if they won't let me testify in public, I will testify in private, and they're not going to like what I have to say, because I think this is a deliberate effort to protect Trump.
Clinton went further, accusing Trump's administration of continuing what she describes as an alleged cover-up of Epstein-related materials. She claimed documents are being slow-walked, names redacted, and congressional requests stonewalled, and she added something that could dramatically raise the stakes. She says she would prefer the depositions to be conducted publicly.
I think they have something to hide, and I think that they are worried about President Trump. And if you saw the Attorney General's testimony, it was very clear the way she behaved, the way she insulted members of Congress for asking perfectly legitimate questions, tried to divert attention from Trump, would not look at the survivors. They have something to hide. I don't know what it is. We have nothing to hide. We have said, we'll testify in public. In fact, we would prefer that. We want transparency, Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Get it all out there. They're the ones who are trying to divert attention and trying to convince people that there's nothing there on him. So we don't know. If all of the files come out, as they should under the law, maybe we can get those questions answered.
Earlier this month, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche told lawmakers that all required Epstein-related records had already been released in accordance with the law. Their letter stated the U.S. Department of Justice had produced all records, documents, communications, and investigative materials in its possession that relate to Epstein. But not everyone on Capitol Hill is convinced. Republican Congressman Thomas Massie suggested the White House may be selectively withholding key materials. During an appearance on ABC's This Week, Massie even referred to the White House as the Epstein administration. He claimed certain documents were removed before lawmakers could review unredacted versions. Among the materials he says disappeared, documents connected to Virginia Giuffre's case and a reported photograph of Epstein in a room with boxes labeled CIA. Massie argues that once documents are produced to Congress, they cannot simply be pulled back. He says lawmakers want access to the full, unredacted record. The Epstein files have become more than a legal issue. They are now a political battlefield. Democrats argue transparency is being obstructed. Republicans argue the Justice Department has fulfilled its obligations. And in the middle of it all are high-profile figures whose names appear in decades-old records, including the Clintons and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. It's important to note that being named in documents or flight logs does not equate to criminal conduct, but politically, perception often moves faster than legal standards. The expected closed-door depositions later this month could provide new answers or spark even more questions. And with it, the calls for Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor to testify may intensify. The Epstein case has cast a shadow across political, royal, and financial circles for years. Now, as new depositions loom and accusations of redactions fly, that shadow is stretching once again across Washington. Whether this ends in clarity or further controversy may depend on two things: how much of the record the public ultimately gets to see, and who ends up under oath.